You've been doing everything you were told would work, showing up, trying harder, staying hopeful, and yet money still feels tight, delayed, just out of reach. Before you assume something is wrong with you, pause for a moment. What if the struggle isn't about effort at all, but about something unseen quietly running the show? Most financial blocks don't begin with numbers. They begin with feelings. A tightening in the chest when you check your balance. A heaviness when you think about asking for more. A quiet voice that says, "Be careful, don't want too much." That voice didn't come from nowhere. It learned its job long ago. You didn't choose your first beliefs about money, you absorbed them. From overheard stress, from moments of fear, from watching people you loved struggle, argue, or sacrifice. Your body remembers those moments, even if your mind moved on. And the body always acts to keep you safe. That's why money can feel unpredictable. You move toward it, then pull back. You receive, then tense. You almost break through and something stalls. Not because you're failing, but because a deeper part of you is asking, is this safe for me? Here's what few people are told. Money responds to permission more than desire. You may want abundance, but if part of you associates money with loss, guilt, or danger, your system will hesitate. It's not sabotage. It's protection dressed as limitation. Notice how your body reacts when you imagine ease with money. Does it relax or brace? That response tells the truth. Because beliefs aren't just thoughts. They're patterns held in the nervous system, repeating until they're gently shown a new way. You were taught rules that were never questioned. That struggle is noble. That comfort must be earned through exhaustion. That wanting more means you're ungrateful. Those ideas felt real once because they helped you survive. But survival rules are not meant to guide your future. Your blocks are not punishments. They are old agreements made when you didn't feel supported enough to receive freely, and they've stayed loyal to you even when they've limited you. But loyalty does not mean permanence. When understanding replaces blame, something shifts, the body softens, the breath deepens, resistance loosens its grip. And in that softness, new beliefs finally have space to take root. Beliefs that say it's safe to receive, safe to grow, safe to have more. In a moment, you'll begin to see the real block clearly, not with judgment, but with compassion. And that compassion is what dissolves, what force never could. Stay with me. This awareness is the first movement toward financial freedom. I want you to know that it is safe to begin exactly where you are. You do not need to fix anything right now. You do not need to push or analyze or judge yourself. Simply allow yourself to listen gently as if you were sitting beside a dear friend who wants only to understand you. Awareness alone begins healing. So many people believe their difficulties with money began in adulthood, yet I have found that our earliest impressions are often formed long before we ever earn or spend a single dollar. They are formed in feeling, in atmosphere, in the emotional climate we grew up in. A child does not learn through logic. A child learns through sensation. Perhaps you remember the sound of worried voices late at night, or the way the room felt heavy when bills were discussed. Perhaps there was silence around money, or tension, or urgency. Even if no one ever said, money is hard, the body learned it through tone, through posture, through the tightening in the air. As children, we are deeply attuned to the emotional states of the people who care for us. We sense when they are afraid, overwhelmed, or burdened. We do not question these feelings, we absorb them, and very often we decide without words that money is connected to fear, to conflict, or to not having enough. You may have watched someone you loved work very hard and still struggle. You may have seen sacrifice praised as virtue, while ease was viewed with suspicion. In those moments, a young mind draws conclusions, not to limit itself, but to survive. It learns what feels safe. It learns what feels dangerous. Many of us learned that asking for more brought discomfort, that wanting more caused tension. that receiving freely might upset someone, or create distance, or invite loss. These ideas were not chosen consciously. They were learned quietly, patiently, and thoroughly. I want you to understand this clearly. Nothing about these early beliefs makes you weak or wrong. They were intelligent responses to the environment you were in. They were protective. They helped you belong. And belonging to a child feels like survival. When we grow older, these beliefs often remain even when the original conditions no longer exist. The mind may move on, but the body remembers. And the body always seeks safety before expansion. That is why money can feel unpredictable or tense, even when you are doing everything right. Some people learned that money came only through exhaustion. That rest had to be earned through struggle, that if something arrived easily, it might be taken away just as easily. These beliefs are not moral failures. They are emotional memories. Others learned that there was never quite enough, that one had to be careful, vigilant, always prepared for loss. And so even when money arrives, the body braces, the breath shortens, joy is delayed, the nervous system remains on watch. I have seen many people confuse this inner bracing with reality itself. They believe money truly is unstable, when in truth it is the inner belief that is unstable. Life responds faithfully to our inner climate. It mirrors what we expect, not what we deserve. Some people were taught that wanting more was selfish, or that having more meant someone else must have less. These ideas often come from times of hardship, when resources felt scarce and fear felt necessary. But scarcity thinking is not a permanent truth. It is a temporary agreement. You may have learned that being good meant not asking for much, that humility required limitation, that approval came from sacrifice. If so, abundance may still feel like a violation of an old rule, even if you no longer believe in that rule consciously. It is important to see these beliefs clearly, not to criticize them, but to thank them. They served a purpose once. They helped you feel safe, connected, or accepted. But beliefs that were formed for survival are not meant to guide creation. I often say that our thoughts create our experiences. And this is especially true with money. Not because money is magical, but because life responds to what we consistently believe about ourselves and the world. If we believe we must struggle, life will agree. These beliefs do not shout, they whisper. They appear as hesitation, as doubt, as the feeling that something is off, even when opportunity is present. They appear as self-questioning just as things begin to improve. You may notice that when money flows, tension arises. When abundance seems close, something tightens. This is not self-sabotage. This is the nervous system asking, is this safe for me? And that question deserves kindness, not force. When we judge ourselves for these reactions, we strengthen them. When we meet them with understanding, they begin to soften. Healing begins the moment blame ends. I want you to consider that your relationship with money is not broken. It is simply patterned. And patterns can be changed gently with awareness and love. You did not choose your first beliefs about money. You absorbed them. And because you absorb them, you can also release them, not through struggle, but through understanding. As we move forward, I invite you to hold this truth quietly within you. Nothing about you needs to be fixed. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are simply uncovering old agreements that are ready to be revised. And revision begins with compassion. As we continue together, I want you to remain very gentle with yourself. Nothing we are looking at is meant to cause discomfort. Awareness is not meant to hurt you. Awareness is meant to free you. And freedom begins when we understand what has been quietly shaping our experience beneath the surface of effort and intention. Many people believe that money responds to action alone. Yet I have seen again and again that money responds first to feeling. It responds to the emotional climate we carry within us. Fear, guilt, and unworthiness are powerful feelings, and they shape our experience long before numbers ever appear. Fear often shows itself quietly. It may appear as worry when you think about the future, or as tension when you open a bill or check a balance. It may show up as a constant sense of needing to be careful, to prepare for loss, to hold back joy just in case something goes wrong. Fear does not mean you are doing something wrong. Fear simply means that at some point your system learned that money was connected to danger or instability. And once the body learns fear, it does not release it through logic. It releases it through reassurance and love. When fear is present, the body tightens, the breath becomes shallow, the mind narrows its focus. In this state, it becomes very difficult to notice opportunity, support, or new possibilities. Life may still be offering, but fear makes it hard to receive. Guilt is another emotion that quietly shapes financial experience. Many people carry guilt around wanting more, having more, or receiving more easily than others. This guilt often comes from early teachings that praised sacrifice and struggle as signs of goodness. If you were taught that goodness meant going without, then abundance may still feel uncomfortable. You may find yourself unconsciously giving away what you receive, or feeling uneasy when things begin to improve. This is not because abundance is wrong. It is because guilt is asking to be healed. I want you to hear this clearly. Wanting more does not make you ungrateful. Receiving more does not make you selfish. The universe is not limited. One person's good does not diminish another's. Life is generous by nature. Unworthiness is perhaps the most subtle of all financial blocks. It does not announce itself loudly. It whispers quietly, saying, "This may be too much for me," or "Others deserve this more than I do." These thoughts often feel like humility, but they are actually habits of self-denial. Unworthiness often comes from early experiences where love felt conditional. When approval was earned through pleasing others, through effort, through being good, the belief forms that worth must be proven. And if worth must be proven, abundance must be earned through strain. Life does not ask us to prove our worth. Life responds to how much we approve of ourselves. When we withhold approval, life reflects that withholding back to us. You may notice that even when opportunities appear, there is hesitation, a feeling of not being ready, a sense of waiting for permission. This is unworthiness asking for acknowledgement, not judgment. The body holds these beliefs faithfully. It remembers moments when wanting more felt unsafe. It remembers times when asking led to disappointment. And it tries to protect you by keeping you within familiar limits. I want you to know that protection is not punishment. These patterns stayed because they believed they were helping you. And when we understand that, we can begin to thank them rather than fight them. Money often mirrors the relationship we have with ourselves. If we are harsh, critical, or doubtful toward ourselves, money often feels harsh, critical, or unreliable as well. If we learn to soften toward ourselves, our experience with money often softens too. I have seen many people try to overcome fear and guilt through willpower. They push themselves, discipline themselves, criticize themselves for not being positive enough. This only deepens the struggle. Love, not force, creates lasting change. Fear dissolves when it is met with safety. Guilt dissolves when it is met with compassion. Unworthiness dissolves when it is met with self-approval. These are gentle processes. They cannot be rushed. You do not need to get rid of these feelings. You simply need to listen to them. They are messengers from earlier times, asking to be reassured that you are safe now, supported now, allowed now. As these emotions soften, the body relaxes, the breath deepens, the mind widens, and in that openness, life has more room to move. You are not meant to struggle forever. You are meant to learn that it is safe to receive. And that learning begins the moment you stop judging yourself for what you feel. Now that we have begun to see how old feelings have shaped our experience, it is time to approach the past with great tenderness. The past does not need to be fought, argued with, or corrected. It only needs to be understood. When understanding replaces blame, the grip of the past begins to loosen naturally. Many people believe that releasing the past means reliving it. Yet I have found that healing does not require suffering. We do not need to reopen old wounds to free ourselves from them. We simply need to recognize that the past no longer has authority over the present unless we continue to grant it power. You may carry memories of financial choices you regret, opportunities you believe you missed, or moments when fear held you back. These memories often return with judgment, as if they are evidence of failure. I invite you now to see them instead as proof of learning. Every decision you ever made was made with the awareness you had at that moment. You could not have acted differently because you did not yet know differently. Growth does not mean condemning the past. Growth means honoring it for bringing you to greater awareness now. Self-blame is one of the most persistent ways we keep ourselves tied to limitation. When we blame ourselves, we remain emotionally connected to the very experiences we wish to leave behind. Blame does not motivate healing, it delays it. I often say that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness does not mean approving of what happened. It means choosing peace over resentment. When resentment is released, the body relaxes, and energy that was trapped in the past becomes available for the present. You may need to forgive people who taught you fearful beliefs about money. They were acting from their own fears, their own limitations, their own learned patterns. They did not know another way at the time. Holding them responsible now only continues the cycle. You may also need to forgive yourself for believing those teachings. This is often the deepest forgiveness of all. The part of you that believed them was young, sensitive, and seeking safety. That part deserves kindness, not criticism. Letting go does not happen through effort. It happens through willingness. Willingness to see differently. Willingness to soften your grip on old stories. Willingness to allow a new understanding to take their place. Old stories about money often repeat themselves automatically. I always struggle. It never lasts. It's hard for me. These stories feel familiar, even comforting, because they are known. But familiarity is not truth. It is habit. Each time you notice an old story without repeating it, you loosen its hold. Each time you choose not to judge yourself for having it, you weaken its power. Change begins quietly, in moments of gentle awareness. Releasing the past may feel unfamiliar at first. The mind may want to return to old explanations. The body may hesitate. This is natural. New ways of being require patience. They require reassurance that it is safe to move forward without carrying yesterday's weight. You are not betraying the past by releasing it. You are honoring it by allowing its lessons to complete themselves. The purpose of the past is learning, not punishment. As old beliefs dissolve, you may feel lighter, even if nothing outside has changed yet. This inner shift is significant. Life responds to inner readiness. When you release the need to struggle, life no longer needs to mirror struggle back to you. I want you to remember that you are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to choose new thoughts. You are allowed to create a future that is not bound by earlier experiences. The past is over, its lessons remain, but its authority is complete. You are free to move forward now, carrying wisdom instead of weight. Now that space has opened within you, it is time to become very conscious of what you choose to place there. An open space does not remain empty for long. It is always filled by thought. And the thoughts we choose, especially when repeated with feeling, become the foundation of our future experience. I want to remind you that thoughts are choices. Many of us were never taught this. We believe thoughts simply happen to us, as if they arrived uninvited and unquestioned. Yet the moment we notice a thought, we are already standing outside it, able to choose again. New thoughts may feel unfamiliar at first. They may even feel untrue. This does not mean they are wrong. It simply means they have not yet become habits. Old thoughts feel true because they have been repeated for years, often with strong emotion. Repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity is often mistaken for truth. When we choose new thoughts about money, we are not trying to force life to change. We are allowing ourselves to change the inner climate that life responds to. Life reflects back to us the tone we set within. I often speak about affirmations as loving reminders. They are not demands placed upon life. They are invitations offered to the mind. When spoken gently and consistently, they soften resistance and reassure the body that new experiences are safe. An affirmation does not need to be shouted. It does not need to be believed immediately. It only needs to be repeated with kindness. Over time, the mind relaxes into agreement, and the body follows. You may choose thoughts that affirm safety, such as, "It is safe for me to have enough." You may choose thoughts that affirm worthiness, such as, "I deserve to live comfortably." These thoughts are not selfish. They are acknowledgments of your place in life. The body listens closely to how we speak to ourselves. When our inner dialogue becomes kinder, the body relaxes. When the body relaxes, receiving becomes possible. Tension blocks flow. Ease invites it. Self-approval is one of the most powerful thoughts you can practice. When you say, "I approve of myself," you tell life that you are ready to receive support. Approval opens doors that effort alone cannot. You may notice that as you practice new thoughts, old ones try to return. This is not failure. It is habit completing itself. Each time you gently return to a kinder thought, you weaken the old pattern and strengthen the new one. Gratitude is another gentle doorway to abundance. Gratitude does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means noticing what is already supporting you. When attention shifts from lack to sufficiency, life often responds with more to appreciate. Gratitude relaxes the heart. It softens the need to control. It allows trust to grow naturally, and trust is essential for abundance to feel safe. You do not need to monitor every thought. That creates strain. Simply notice how you feel. When a thought feels heavy, constricting, or fearful, it is asking to be replaced with something kinder. New thoughts do not erase the past. They build upon it. They say, "I have learned and now I choose differently." Life honors this choice. As you continue to choose thoughts of ease, approval, and trust, you may notice subtle changes. A sense of calm, a feeling of openness. These are signs that your inner world is aligning with abundance. Life is not waiting for you to be perfect. It is waiting for you to be willing. And willingness begins with the thoughts you choose to think today. As we come to this place together, I want you to notice how much softer you may already feel. Nothing has been forced. Nothing has been taken away. You have simply allowed yourself to understand, and understanding always brings relief. This relief is not temporary. It is the beginning of a new way of being. True freedom with money does not begin in the outer world. It begins inside, where your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create the atmosphere life responds to. When the inner atmosphere changes, the outer experience follows naturally, without strain. Trust is not something we demand of ourselves. Trust grows quietly, through gentle repetition and self-kindness. Each time you choose to believe that life supports you, trust deepens. Each time you approve of yourself, trust strengthens. I want you to know that life is not watching to see if you are worthy. Life responds to your willingness to receive. When you allow yourself to believe that you are supported, support appears in ways you may not have expected. Living from self-love means no longer using money as a measure of worth. You are valuable because you exist. Money does not give you value, and it cannot take it away. When this truth settles within you, money loses its emotional charge and becomes simply a tool for living well. You may notice that when you stop pushing, things begin to move. When you stop proving, opportunities appear. When you stop fearing loss, flow becomes steadier. Life responds to relaxation more readily than to struggle. Inner permission is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Permission to live comfortably, permission to receive without guilt, permission to have ease without apology. Life waits patiently for this permission. You do not need to justify your desire for abundance. You do not need to explain it. You are allowed to want a life that feels supportive and nourishing. Wanting more does not mean you are dissatisfied with who you are. It means you are open to growth. As trust grows, you may feel guided toward actions that feel natural and calm rather than urgent and forced. Inspired action comes from alignment, not fear. When you act from love, outcomes feel more cooperative. Money responds beautifully to clarity and calm. When you are no longer arguing with yourself about what you deserve, receiving becomes simpler. The struggle dissolves because it is no longer needed. I want you to remember that abundance is not something you chase, it is something you allow. Allowing begins with believing that it is safe to have more good in your life. Each day, you can return to this inner knowing. You can remind yourself that you are supported. You can approve of yourself just as you are. You can trust that life is working with you, not against you. Nothing needs to happen all at once. Change unfolds in its own perfect rhythm. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to your process. Life responds lovingly to gentleness. And as you move forward, carry this truth with you. You are worthy of abundance, peace, and ease simply because you are alive. Life loves you. And when you allow yourself to believe that, everything begins to shift. You are safe, you are supported, and it is good to be you. As we come to the end of this time together, I want you to pause for a moment and simply notice yourself. Notice your breath. Notice your body where you are sitting or lying. There's nothing you need to do right now, nothing you need to figure out. Just allow yourself to be present with yourself, exactly as you are. So often we move through life without ever truly arriving anywhere. We rush from one concern to the next, from one responsibility to another, carrying old fears quietly inside us. This moment is different. This moment is an invitation to rest inside yourself. You have not been listening to these words by accident. Something in you was ready to understand. Something in you was ready to soften. And that readiness is not something you have to earn. It is something you have always carried. I want you to know that nothing you have discovered about yourself here is meant to be used against you. Awareness is never meant to become another reason for self-criticism. Awareness is meant to bring relief. And relief is what allows change to happen naturally. You have spent so much of your life trying to do things the right way, trying harder, being careful, staying responsible. And while those qualities may have helped you survive, they were never meant to replace joy, ease, or trust. Life is not meant to be endured. Life is meant to be lived. When you look back now at the beliefs you once held about money, about worth, about safety, I invite you to see them with compassion. They were not mistakes. They were responses. They were ways your system learned to protect you in times when you needed protection. And protection has its place. But protection does not need to run your future. There is a part of you that has always known this, a quiet part, a gentle part, a part that believes life can support you without struggle. That part may have been patient for a very long time, but it has never left you. As you move forward, you may notice moments when old thoughts try to return. a familiar tightening, a familiar doubt. This does not mean you are going backward. It means you are noticing sooner, and noticing sooner is progress. When those moments arise, I want you to remember that you do not need to correct yourself harshly. You do not need to argue with your mind. Simply choose kindness. Choose reassurance. Choose a thought that feels a little softer. You might say to yourself, I am learning to trust life, or it is safe for me to receive, or even, I'm willing to see this differently. Willingness is powerful. Willingness tells life that you are open, and life responds lovingly to openness. You do not need to know how abundance will arrive. You do not need to control the timing. Life has many ways of supporting you, ways that the mind cannot always predict. Trust allows those ways to appear. I have learned that when we stop fighting ourselves, life stops fighting us too. When we stop withholding love from ourselves, life stops withholding its gifts. This is not punishment or reward, it is reflection. Money, like everything else in life, responds to love. Not romantic love, but the steady, approving love you offer yourself each day. When you believe you are enough, life begins to agree. You may have believed for a long time that struggle was necessary, that ease was something other people experienced, that comfort came with a cost. These beliefs can be released now. They are not laws. They are habits. Habits can be changed. Change does not require effort. It requires consistency and kindness. Each time you choose a loving thought, you are teaching your mind a new language. Each time you approve of yourself, you are creating a new inner environment. And that inner environment matters. Life is always responding to the energy you offer. When you offer tension, life reflects tension. When you offer trust, life reflects support. This is not something to fear, it is something to work with gently. You may begin to notice small shifts, a sense of calm where there was once worry, a moment of gratitude where there was once fear. These shifts are significant. They are signs that something deep is changing. Do not rush them, do not demand more from them. Allow them to grow in their own time. I want you to release the idea that healing must be dramatic to be real. Most healing is quiet. Most transformation happens beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible. You are not late, you are not behind, you are exactly where you need to be to take the next gentle step forward. And the next step does not need to be large. It may simply be approving of yourself today. It may be choosing not to criticize yourself for feeling uncertain. It may be allowing yourself a moment of peace. These moments matter. As you continue your life, remember that you are not alone. Life itself is on your side. Life wants you to succeed. Life wants you to thrive. The idea that life is harsh or punishing is another belief that can be gently released. Life loves you. I say that often because it is easy to forget, but it is true. And when you begin to live as if it is true, everything changes. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to justify your desires. You are allowed to want comfort, stability, and joy. You are allowed to have a life that feels good to live. Receiving does not make you irresponsible. It makes you receptive. And receptivity is the doorway through which abundance flows. When you give yourself permission to receive, you also give others permission to do the same. Healing is never isolated. It ripples outward quietly, touching lives in ways you may never see. So be gentle with yourself, speak kindly to yourself, trust the process you are in. You are learning a new way of being with life, and that takes patience. If there is one thing I want you to carry with you from this time together, let it be this: you are safe now, you are allowed now, you are supported now, and each day you can return to this knowing. You can place a hand on your heart and remind yourself that you are loved. You can breathe deeply and allow your body to relax. You can choose thoughts that nourish rather than deplete. Life responds to these choices. Nothing about your future is fixed. You are free to choose again and again and again. Each choice plants a seed, and seeds, when tended with love, grow. Trust yourself, trust life. Trust that good can come to you in ways that feel gentle and right. You are worthy of abundance. You are worthy of ease. You are worthy of peace. And it is safe to believe that now. I invite you now to rest in this moment. There is nothing you need to understand further, nothing you need to remember perfectly. The work you have done here does not live in your mind alone. It has already begun to live in your body, in your breath, in the way you hold yourself with a little more kindness. So often we think transformation must feel dramatic. We expect a sudden surge of confidence or certainty, yet the most lasting changes arrive quietly. They arrive as relief. They arrive as permission. They arrive as the simple realization that you no longer need to be so hard on yourself. You have spent many years learning how to cope, how to endure, how to manage. Those skills were important once. They helped you move through times that required strength. But you are allowed to release the belief that strength must always look like effort. There is a strength in softness. There is a strength in trust. There is a strength in allowing life to meet you halfway. I want you to know that life has never been withholding from you. Life responds faithfully to the thoughts you think about yourself. When those thoughts soften, life softens too. This is not something you need to control. It is something you allow. Many people believe that if they relax, everything will fall apart. That vigilance is what keeps things together. Yet I have seen the opposite to be true. When we relax, we begin to see more clearly. When we relax, we begin to receive guidance instead of pressure. Money does not require tension to exist. It does not need fear to stay present. Those ideas were learned, not true. And what has been learned can be gently unlearned. As you move forward, you may notice that you no longer feel the same urgency around money. That does not mean you have stopped caring. It means you have stopped fighting. And fighting was never the source of your support. Life supports us when we support ourselves. Supporting yourself begins with approval. Approval for where you are. Approval for how far you have come. Approval for the pace of your growth. You are not required to be anywhere other than here. When you approve of yourself, you send a powerful message to life. I am safe to receive. And life listens. You may notice that your body responds first. The shoulders soften, the jaw relaxes, the breath becomes deeper. These changes are important. They signal that your system is beginning to feel safe in new ways. Safety is the foundation of abundance. Without safety, receiving feels dangerous. With safety, receiving feels natural. You do not need to convince yourself that you are safe. You simply need to offer yourself reassurance again and again until your body believes it. You might place a hand over your heart and say softly, I am here with you. You might say, I will not abandon myself. You might say, it is safe to trust life a little more today. These are not empty words. They are instructions to your nervous system. And your nervous system is listening. As safety grows, you may begin to notice opportunities that were always present but difficult to see before. Fear narrows vision. Trust widens it. Life does not suddenly change. Your ability to receive what is already available changes. You are not meant to figure everything out alone. You are meant to cooperate with life. Cooperation feels different from control. Cooperation feels like listening, allowing, and responding gently. Money flows best when it is not burdened with emotional meaning. When it is no longer asked to prove worth, create safety, or replace love. Those needs are met within you now. You are learning that you do not need money to feel valuable. And because of that, money can arrive without pressure. This is one of the great paradoxes of life. When we stop needing something to validate us, it becomes easier to receive. You may still have moments of doubt. That is natural. Doubt does not mean you are undoing your progress. It simply means a part of you is asking for reassurance. And reassurance is easy to give. Each time doubt arises, you can respond with kindness rather than alarm. You can say, I am learning. You can say, I am open to support. You can say, life is helping me in ways I may not yet see. Life responds to this tone. I want you to release the idea that abundance must look a certain way. It may come as money, it may come as opportunities, and it may come as support, ideas, or connections. Life is creative. Allow it to surprise you. Your job is not to manage life. Your job is to be receptive to it. Receptivity is not passivity. It is openness. It is the willingness to notice what feels right and to follow that feeling without fear. As you practice living from this place, you may notice that decisions become simpler. You no longer force yourself into situations that feel heavy. You begin to trust your inner guidance more. That guidance has always been there. It was simply difficult to hear beneath the noise of fear and self-criticism. Now, in this quieter space, it becomes clearer. I want you to remember that you are not here to struggle endlessly. You are here to learn, to grow, and to enjoy your life. Enjoyment is not a reward for suffering. It is a natural expression of alignment. When you enjoy your life, you signal to the universe that you are in harmony with it. Harmony attracts support effortlessly. You may notice that when you treat yourself with kindness, others respond differently. This is not coincidence. The way you relate to yourself sets the tone for how life relates to you. Kindness is magnetic. If there is one practice I encourage you to return to again and again, it is self-approval. Even on days when nothing seems to be working, you can still approve of yourself, especially on those days. Approval says, I am on my own side, and life responds beautifully to that. As we close this time together, I want you to carry a sense of gentleness with you. You do not need to rush into action. Allow the integration to happen naturally. Trust that the work you have done continues even when you are not thinking about it. Healing is intelligent. It knows how to unfold. You are learning to live from trust instead of fear, from love instead of pressure, from allowance instead of struggle. This is not something you must perfect. It is something you practice. And each time you choose kindness, you move closer to the life that feels supportive and nourishing. Life is not asking you to be different. Life is asking you to be kinder to yourself. When you do that, everything else begins to fall into place. You are supported. You are valued. You are allowed to receive good. And it is safe to believe that now. And now, as we rest together in this quiet space, I turn inward with you. I allow the outer world to soften. I allow the noise to fade. I bring my attention gently back to life itself, the life that breathes me, supports me, and loves me. I acknowledge this presence within me and around me. I acknowledge the wisdom that has guided me here. I acknowledge that there is an intelligence greater than my fear, greater than my old beliefs, greater than any story I have carried about lack or limitation. I am willing to listen now. I open my heart to the truth that life is for me, not against me. I open my mind to the possibility that support can come in ways that feel kind and unexpected. I open my body to rest, knowing that I do not need to remain tense to stay safe. I release the belief that I must struggle to deserve. I release the belief that ease is something to fear. I release the belief that I am separate from the flow of good. These beliefs have served me once, and I thank them. And now, with love, I let them go. I affirm that I am held by life. I affirm that I am guided by wisdom. I affirm that I am supported even when I do not yet see how. I allow myself to trust the rhythm of life. I allow myself to trust the timing of life. I allow myself to trust that what I need arrives when I am ready to receive it. I no longer demand proof before I trust. I no longer withhold faith until I feel certain. I choose to trust first, knowing that trust opens the door through which answers arrive. I bless my past for the lessons it has taught me. I bless my present for the awareness it brings me. I bless my future, knowing it is unfolding in ways that support my highest good. I forgive myself for every moment I doubted my worth. I forgive myself for every time I believed I was not enough. I forgive myself for carrying fear when love was available. I place my hand gently upon my heart and remind myself that I am here now. I am safe now. I am allowed now. I speak softly to the child within me who learned to worry, who learned to hold back, who learned to be careful with joy. I tell that child, you are safe with me. You no longer need to protect us alone. I invite peace into my body. I invite ease into my breath. I invite gentleness into my thoughts. I allow my shoulders to soften. I allow my jaw to release. I allow my heart to open without fear of disappointment. I trust that life knows how to support me better than my fear ever could. I remember that money is not my source. Life is my source. And life is generous. I remember that I do not need to convince life of my worth. Life already knows. It is I who am learning to remember. I affirm that it is safe for me to receive. It is safe for me to have enough. It is safe for me to live comfortably and well. I do not need to take from anyone else to receive what is meant for me. What comes to me comes through harmony, not struggle. What comes to me arrives without guilt. I allow myself to be supported in ways that feel gentle and right. I allow myself to notice the signs of support already present. I allow gratitude to arise naturally, without effort. I trust the small steps. I trust the quiet shifts. I trust the unseen movements that are aligning my life even now. I surrender the need to control outcomes. I surrender the need to force change. I surrender the belief that I must carry everything alone. In this surrender, I do not lose myself. I find myself. I find the part of me that has always known how to trust. I find the part of me that believes in goodness. I find the part of me that is willing to receive love without question. I remind myself that healing is not a destination, it is a relationship with life. And this relationship deepens each time I choose love over fear. I choose to speak kindly to myself. I choose to approve of myself. I choose to treat myself with the same patience I would offer a dear friend. I release the need to measure my progress. I release the need to compare my journey. I release the belief that I must be somewhere else to be worthy now. I am worthy now. I am enough now. I am supported now. I trust that the seeds I have planted are growing. I trust that life is responding in ways that serve me. I trust that what is meant for me cannot pass me by. I welcome abundance in all its forms. I welcome clarity. I welcome peace. I welcome the quiet confidence that comes from knowing I am not alone. I welcome the calm that comes from self-approval. I welcome the joy that arises when I stop resisting good. I give thanks for this moment of stillness. I give thanks for the awareness I have gained. I give thanks for the love that surrounds and sustains me. I rest now in this knowing. Life loves me. Life supports me. Life works with me, always. And so it is. I come to this moment now with a willing heart. I set aside the day, the concerns, the questions that once felt so heavy. I allow myself to rest in the presence of life, knowing I do not walk alone. I remind myself that there is a loving intelligence moving through all things. It moves through my breath. It moves through my body. It moves through every circumstance of my life, even the ones I do not yet understand. I no longer ask life to prove itself to me. I choose instead to remember that life has always been here, quietly supporting me, even when I doubted, even when I feared. I soften now into that support. I let go of the habit of holding myself tight. I let go of the belief that vigilance keeps me safe. I let go of the idea that I must always be prepared for loss. In this moment, I choose to trust. I trust that I am guided. I trust that I am cared for. I trust that what I need arrives in perfect ways and perfect timing. I bless my body for carrying me through every experience. I bless my heart for remaining open, even when it felt tender. I bless my mind for learning new ways to think with kindness. I speak gently to myself now. I say, you are doing well. I say, you are allowed to rest. I say, you are safe in this moment. I remember that my worth was never dependent on outcomes. My value was never tied to effort or sacrifice. I was worthy the moment I arrived in this world, and that truth has never changed. I release the belief that I must earn love. I release the belief that I must earn support. I release the belief that I must earn abundance. I allow these gifts to come to me freely because they are part of life itself. I place my trust not in fear, but in love. I place my trust not in struggle, but in flow. I place my trust not in control, but in the wisdom that guides me. When doubt arises, I meet it with gentleness. When uncertainty appears, I meet it with patience. When old habits surface, I meet them with compassion. I no longer judge myself for being human. I allow peace to settle into my body. I allow my breath to deepen naturally. I allow my thoughts to slow and soften. In this stillness, I remember who I am. I am a beloved expression of life. I am supported in seen and unseen ways. I am allowed to receive goodness without fear. I trust that money, like all things, responds to love. I trust that when I live in kindness toward myself, my outer life reflects that kindness back to me. I do not rush the unfolding. I do not demand answers before they are ready. I rest in the knowing that life is unfolding beautifully, even now. I give thanks for the guidance that brought me here. I give thanks for the awareness that continues to grow. I give thanks for the love that never leaves me. As I move forward, I carry this quiet trust with me. I carry this softness with me. I carry this remembrance that I am never alone. Life walks with me. Life supports me. Life delights in my willingness to love myself. And in this knowing, I rest. In this moment, I pause. I do not ask for anything. I do not seek to change anything. I simply give thanks. I give thanks for my breath moving in and out of me without effort. I give thanks for my body, which has carried me faithfully through every experience. I give thanks for my heart, which has remained open, even when it felt tender. I give thanks for this moment of stillness. I give thanks for the awareness that has gently unfolded. I give thanks for the willingness within me to listen, to soften, to receive. I give thanks for the lessons that have shaped me, even the difficult ones, especially the ones that taught me compassion. I give thanks for the past, not because it was perfect, but because it brought me here. I give thanks for the present, because it is alive with possibility. I give thanks for the future, trusting that it is unfolding with care. I give thanks for every time life has supported me in ways I did not recognize at first, for every door that closed to protect me, for every delay that gave me time to grow. I give thanks for the moments of clarity that arrive quietly, for the gentle realizations that change everything without announcement, for the peace that comes when I stop resisting myself. I give thanks for the abundance already present in my life, for the shelter that holds me, for the nourishment that sustains me, for the simple comforts that so often go unnoticed. I give thanks for the people who have crossed my path, those who loved me, those who challenged me, those who taught me something about myself. I give thanks for the strength that carried me when I thought I had none. I give thanks for the softness that returned when I allowed it. I give thanks for the courage it takes to choose kindness again and again. I give thanks for the moments of joy, both large and small, for laughter, for beauty, for the quiet satisfaction of being present. I give thanks for the wisdom within me that knows when to rest. I give thanks for the guidance that arrives when I listen. I give thanks for the voice inside me that speaks gently now. I give thanks for the ways life provides, seen and unseen, expected and unexpected. I give thanks for the flow of good that moves toward me when I am open. I give thanks for the ease that grows when I trust. I give thanks for the sense of safety that comes from self-approval. I give thanks for money as a tool of exchange, for its ability to support, to circulate, to serve. I give thanks for releasing fear and welcoming trust in its place. I give thanks for learning that I do not have to struggle to be worthy. I give thanks for remembering that I am enough as I am. I give thanks for the quiet confidence that comes from self-love. I give thanks for today, just as it is, not asking it to be different, not asking myself to be different. I give thanks for this moment of completion, for the sense of peace settling within me, for the knowing that life is gentle when I am gentle with myself. I give thanks for love, for forgiveness, for understanding. I give thanks for life itself, and in this gratitude, I rest. I give thanks for the quiet moments I once overlooked, for the pauses between breaths, for the spaces where nothing was demanded of me. I give thanks for mornings that arrived even when I felt uncertain, for evenings that allowed me to lay my worries down, for the rhythm of days that continued to hold me, whether I noticed or not. I give thanks for the strength that showed up without asking, for the resilience that lived in me long before I recognized it, for the inner voice that never stopped guiding me, even when I could not hear it clearly. I give thanks for the times I was protected from what I thought I wanted, for the paths that gently redirected me, for the patience of life as I learned to trust more deeply. I give thanks for the kindness I have received, spoken and unspoken, remembered and forgotten, each one a reminder that I am not alone. I give thanks for the kindness I have learned to offer myself, for the moments I chose softness instead of judgment, for the growing ease in the way I now speak to my own heart. I give thanks for the wisdom of my body, for its signals, for its honesty, for its willingness to heal when met with love. I give thanks for learning that rest is not failure, that ease is not laziness, that receiving is not something to apologize for. I give thanks for the abundance that flows quietly, for needs that are met in simple ways, for support that arrives before I even know how to ask. I give thanks for the circulation of life, for giving and receiving, for the natural balance that restores itself. When I stop resisting it, I give thanks for money as movement, for its ability to come and go, for the lessons it has taught me about trust, worth, and allowance. I give thanks for releasing fear little by little, for noticing when my body relaxes, for the calm that grows when I remember I am supported. I give thanks for forgiveness, for how it lightens my heart, for how it frees energy once held in pain. I give thanks for love that does not need to be earned, for love that remains steady, for love that includes me exactly as I am. I give thanks for growth that unfolds gently, for changes that happen beneath the surface, for healing that does not announce itself, yet transforms everything. I give thanks for life's generosity, not only in abundance, but in learning, not only in comfort, but in meaning. I give thanks for the ability to begin again, for fresh moments, for new choices, for the quiet courage to choose love today. I give thanks for this closing, for the sense of completion, settling in, for the peace that arrives when nothing more is required. I give thanks for all that has been, for all that is, for all that is gently becoming. And in this gratitude, I rest. I give thanks for the unseen help that has always surrounded me, for the quiet support I did not recognize at the time, for the hands that steadied me when I felt alone. I give thanks for the moments when I kept going without knowing why, for the inner persistence that carried me forward, for the hope that stayed alive even when answers were not clear. I give thanks for every breath that returned me to the present moment, for the steadiness of my heartbeat, for the simple miracle of being alive. I give thanks for the lessons that taught me patience, for the waiting that strengthened trust, for the pauses that allowed wisdom to grow. I give thanks for the light that appeared during dark moments, sometimes faint, sometimes unexpected, always enough to guide me. I give thanks for the capacity to feel deeply, for tenderness, for sensitivity, for the openness that allows love to move through me. I give thanks for the times I was carried when I felt too tired to walk, for grace that arrived without effort, for the reassurance that I was never truly alone. I give thanks for the unfolding of understanding, for clarity that arrived gently, for truth that revealed itself when I was ready. I give thanks for the generosity of life, for giving me exactly what I needed to grow, for trusting me with my own journey. I give thanks for the balance returning again and again, for the way life finds harmony, for the quiet order beneath all things. I give thanks for the ability to notice goodness, for the softening of my awareness, for the growing ease in my heart. I give thanks for every moment of calm, for the peace that settles when I stop resisting, for the stillness that feels like home. I give thanks for the love that continues to flow, for its steadiness, for its patience, for its endless presence. I give thanks for this moment of rest, for the gentle closing of this time, for the feeling of being held. I give thanks for life, for all its forms, for all its gifts, and in this gratitude I remain.